Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Boxiest, and today we're going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Shawn killed Robby and Juvie during the events of Cobra Kai Season 3? So in this timeline, the events of Cobra Kai Season 2 would still happen, the school fight would still happen, and those events would stay the same. Robby would still kick Miguel off the balcony, so Miguel would still be paralyzed in this timeline. Robby would still run away. Daniel would still be looking for Robby, and he would still go to Johnny, so Daniel and Johnny would team up to find Robby. Those events would stay the same. Johnny would still go see Miguel. Shannon would eventually call Daniel, and Daniel would go see Robby. Daniel and Robby would still talk, but this is when the police would show up and arrest Robby. Robby would be arrested in this timeline, and he would be sent to juvie, and he would feel betrayed by Daniel. The events of Season 3 would carry on. Robby would still be in juvie, and he would still be picked on by Shawn. Those events would stay the same. They would still see Sam on the news, trying to raise money for Miguel's surgery. Shawn would see this as an opportunity to provoke Robby, so Robby would still stand up for Sam, and those events would stay the same. So Shawn and his friends would still attack Robby. The guards would still sound the alarm and stop the fight, and Shawn would still tell Robby that they weren't done with him, and the events of Season 3 would carry on. Carice would still visit Robby in juvie, and he would still give Robby the advice to strike first. So much like in the original timeline, Robby would still attack Shawn and the rest of his friends. Shawn would be mad, and he would fight back. So Shawn and Robby would still fight, but in this timeline, Shawn's friends would be mad, and they would get up and help Shawn. So Shawn and his friends would team up to fight Robby, and in this timeline, Robby would have a hard time defending himself, and Shawn and his friends would start winning. Eventually, Shawn would knock Robby on the ground, and he would start beating him up, and he would smash Robby's head against the floor. Robby would be on the ground bleeding. Shawn would be filled with rage, and he would continue beating up Robby, and he would beat Robby to death. So Shawn would kill Robby in this timeline. The guards would show up, and they would take Shawn and his friends down. Shawn would be charged with murder, and he would be transferred to an adult prison. The events of Season 3 would carry on. Kenny and his family would hear what Shawn had done. They would feel ashamed, and they would decide to move states. So Kenny would move away in this timeline. Kenny wouldn't want anything to do with Shawn. Shawn would be heartbroken, hearing that Kenny didn't want anything to do with him. And at the adult prison, Shawn would be picked on by some of the adult prisoners. News would spread that Robby had been killed in juvie. Daniel would feel guilty over Robby's death, and he would feel responsible for turning Robby in. Johnny and Shannon would find out, and they would be heartbroken. So Miguel would want to be there for Johnny. There would be a funeral for Robby, held by the LaRussos. Sam would be heartbroken over Robby, and Miguel would want to comfort her. Carice would hear of Robby's death, and he would want to be there for Johnny. But Johnny wouldn't want anything to do with Carice in this timeline. And in this timeline, Daniel wouldn't reopen up Miyagi-Do, and Johnny would never form Eagle Fang. So Cobra Kai would continue to grow. Carice would continue training his students. The Cobra Kai students would become even bigger bullies, and they would still have a rivalry with the former Miyagi-Do students. And that is where I'm gonna end this What If. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Shawn killed Robby in juvie during the events of Cobra Kai Season 3? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.